Welcome back to Court TV. Let's get you right back into court for that much anticipated verdict of Donna Adelson.
Having reviewed the verdict form, it is in its proper order. At this time, I will publish the verdict. We, the jury, find as follows as to count 1 of the indictment, first-degree murder. The defendant is guilty of first-degree murder. Mrs. Adelson, control yourself. Count 2. We, the jury, find as follows as to count 2 of the indictment, conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. The defendant is guilty of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. Count 3. We, the jury, find as follows as to count 3 of the indictment, solicitation to commit first-degree murder. The defendant is guilty of solicitation to commit first-degree murder. And it is signed and dated by the foreperson. One moment. Members of the jury, the bailiff will escort you to the jury room. Mrs. Adelson, while this was not the outcome I'm sure that you desired, there will not be any further outbursts in front of the jury. If you cannot control yourself, I am going to have to determine if you will be removed from the remainder of this process. Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Yes.
Do you need a moment to collect yourself? Before the jurors are brought back in, we will take a brief 2-minute break. Please give her tissues if she needs them.
Judgment reporting significant impact to the defense and to your honor.
When the jurors are brought back into the room, does the defense wish to have the jurors polled before they are discharged?
Yes, Your Honor.
Very well.
All right, joining me after this verdict, Court TV anchor Ted Rowlands. Ted, is this what you expected the outcome to be? What do you think?
You know what, Cody? I think that this is where it was going. I mean, it felt like after watching the closings today, watching this entire trial, Georgia Kappelman and her team did an excellent job of boiling down what evidence they did have against Donna Adelson, which was not overwhelming and one could argue not beyond a reasonable doubt, but it was clear, it was concise, it was, you could understand it and it made sense. And I think the jury got it right. I would not have been shocked if it was a hung jury or if it took days to get to this point, but guilty on all counts, to me, seems like justice for Dan Markel.
And Ted, I think you hit it right on the head. Georgia Kappelman really made all of that evidence very digestible for the jury to take in. You know, I want to ask you, what do you think about Donna not taking the stand? Do you think that would have swayed anything in this trial if she got up there and told her story, what she believed to be the truth?
You know, I actually think it, you know, throwing a Hail Mary in a lot of cases at her age probably would have been worth the risk. She would have had to have come up with a somewhat reasonable explanation for everything. I don't know that she had it in her. Look at her behavior in the pretrial motion hearings. Look at her behavior when she was arrested at the Miami airport. And look at her behavior now. She, I don't believe, would have been able to withstand her mano a mano, woman against woman, her against Georgia Kappelman. She's going down. And I think that probably was a factor on the defense side when deciding whether or not to throw her up there.
And Ted, you mentioned the infamous airport video. You know, her defense attorney said in her closings today that quote, a theory doesn't prove a crime, which, you know, on paper that holds weight. But when you have Donna and Harvey heading to a one-way flight to Vietnam after Charlie's conviction and after she searches countries with no extradition on her phone, I mean, you don't want to insult the jury's intelligence that way, right?
Yeah, that's a big part of it. And if you think about it, the defense did a good job of bringing up the fact that there is no evidence pre-murder that ties Donna to this conspiracy to commit murder. The problem was her actions afterwards. And they were well documented and, as we talked about, boiled down, digestible. The cherry on top was the trip to Nam. Her and Javi, one-way ticket to Vietnam, and caught, of course, on that open mic talking about extradition. To your point, Cody, that is insulting. And because that, when you hear it, when we all heard it, I was like, oh boy, she's going down. And that's what happened.
Absolutely, Ted. And I'm getting word that the judge is back on the bench speaking right now. Let's get right back into that courtroom.
Is the defense asking for a pre-sentence report on counts 2 and 3? As to count 1, the penalty is statutory, and essentially there is no modification for it.
Yes, Your Honor.
Very well, pre-sentence investigation and report is ordered by the court as to counts 2 and 3. As to count 1, is there any reason why we cannot proceed to sentencing on this matter?
Your Honor, we would request an opportunity to ensure that our client is okay before we proceed to sentencing. It's my understanding that Charlie Adelson wasn't sentenced right away. We're asking for the same courtesy.
Very well. The court then will set a separate sentencing date